At Cradle Mountain, we visited Devils at Cradle, a wildlife sanctuary dedicated to the study and conservation of the endangered Tasmanian devil. There were cool pine sculptures of a Tasmanian devil and a wombat at the entrance. It's been a long time since anyone's seen one of these.
The impact that devil facial tumor disease is having on the devil population. And you're probably quite aware, because it's had some excellent media coverage in the last decade or so. Devils were always much more common in the northeast of the state, and we've lost well over 95%. There's some estimates up to 100% in pockets. Notoriously elusive, they're timid, they're cryptic. Despite their reputation of aggression or ferocity, they're always very nervous. Just left mum. So they live about 5 years on average. They disperse at 10 months. They're not considered sexually mature until 24. It's more the really long time frame it takes for them to get to adulthood and be able to breed. And then the small number of young that they have in the course of their life cycle that's a bit unusual. So any detail. Two and have one survive. So she replaces herself there, and then she breeds at 3 and 4. One of those years she might actually have 2 survive. So she sort of replaced herself and then +2, maybe +3. So it actually keeps the population slightly upward trending. And so what we tend to see with devils over a 25-year peak to trough or 50-year peak to peak, they sawtooth, they sort of go up and up and up and up and up, eat themselves out of house and home, up and up and up and up and up. It's like a lot of predators, create a loose hierarchical system and maintain it while that kill's present, and then they forget it and disperse from each other and the hierarchy breaks down. So it's not true social behaviour, but it's not far from it either. So they are technically solitary, but there's some grey area, there's some borderline between some and other species. So these are adult devils. Granted, he's only 2, so he's not quite full size. Actually, as is she, but he will end up being about another 1.5 kilograms, maybe 2 kilograms heavier and bigger than what he is there by this time next year. And that's pretty much why we don't see a lot of 2-year-old males breed successfully. They're just not big enough, they're not experienced enough to challenge the 4-year-olds. Start a devil facial tumor disease, and that's why we're so very confident that this can't be from another species. From there, we had to research very heavily why they won't mount an immune response, because this is analogous to an organ transplant. They would mount an immune response against a donor problem where it's the type of cell that most animals don't attack. They're not constantly attacking our own nervous system, and there's a few diseases where we do, and it gets quite nasty quite quickly. In this situation, you've got trapped on a very heavily glaciated peninsula that at the end of the last ice age, sea level males are anything up to about 2 kilograms in size. So male peach balls are much bigger, much heavier. There's space at risk of him getting aggressive and injuring the other males. The baby koalas are eating baby wallabies and things like that. Instead of, it's a time of productivity. It gives them the best crack at establishing themselves and surviving. About 3 out of 4 don't though. So the death rate of spotted tail koalas is quite high. In captivity,
Sorry, the rifle 60, like
4 to 5.
Same as the
Yeah.